I just want to first start with the pictures of the three victims who died. System drowned their ambition, system snuffed away their lives and left a vacuum that will never be fulfilled in their parents' lives. Just look at these pictures of these young students. Just go full frame. I just want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, about these three young people, those who died in that callous, it's absolute negligence of the authorities. 3 students died at this coaching center when it was inundated with water. Shreya Yadav, 25-year-old, came from Ambedkar Nagar in Uttar Pradesh. She joined the Rouse IAS coaching center in April 2024. This year itself, just 2 months back. She was the eldest of the siblings. Not just her, but her entire family had high hopes of this girl. Tania Soni was just 25 years old, a woman from Telangana, Secunderabad. She originally is from Bihar. She was a student at Delhi University, joined, in fact, this institute just 1.5 months ago in hopes of cracking India's toughest and most prestigious examination. Navin Delvin, 28-year-old IS aspirant from Ernakulam in Kerala, was in Delhi for last 8 months. And all that they dreamed was to, in fact, crack this examination. All they got in return, their families, who put in everything behind their dreams, all that they got in return was this news, and their bodies now being sent back to their families.
प्रशासन शासन से ऐसे चलता रहेगा, ऐसे आप रहेंगे तो कैसे काम चलेगा? अपना बच्चा बाहर कैसे भेजेगा पढ़ने के लिए? जैसे उसमें कोई लाइब्रेरियन नहीं था, उसमें इमरजेंसी डोर नहीं था, और ये कोचिंग की जिम्मेदारी होती है। अभी तक कोचिंग वालों का कोई हमारे पास कॉल नहीं आया, कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं आया, तो ये कैसे चलता रहेगा? जबकि दिल्ली में है कि आप बेसमेंट में कंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं करवा सकते हैं। ये प्रशासन कैसे बेसमेंट बनवा के उसमें कोचिंग भी चला रहे हैं? 3-3, 4-4 साल हो जा रहे हैं, प्रशासन को अभी कोई खबर ही नहीं है।
Now, I just want to also, ladies and gentlemen, tell you what the FIR says about this. The FIR says that the owner admits to a lack of proper drainage system. Coaching center was illegally running this library in the basement. And not only were they running this library in the basement, they had put, controlled access to this library. The owner so far has refused to provide documents. And remember, after their deaths, now the owner, the coordinator of this coaching institute in Delhi, which have come up like mushrooms all across, you see these newspaper ads every single day of people of these coaching centers selling dreams that join them, and the next thing that you would know, that you are taking oath, you are going into training for the IAS, IPS officers. That's how they sell this dream, which is bought by many young aspirants. 3 of them, their ambition, their dreams, drowned by the just negligence, sheer greed of this coaching center. And just don't think it is the coaching center. This anger which we have seen of these students spilling over, coming onto the streets, is just not because of the coaching center and their negligence, their greed. What were the civic agencies doing? What was the local police doing? What was the responsibility of the local government? What is the responsibility of the Aam Aadmi Party government in the national capital, the Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal? This is the government he wants to run from sitting in the prison. And after the Supreme Court, after the central government brought in that ordinance and made the LG, the Sarve Sarva of Delhi, the man in charge, the top job in the national capital, shouldn't that be his responsibility as well? But what has happened, ladies and gentlemen, after this FIR, after what has happened, the drainage system which was not working properly, the rainwater which accumulated and then gushed in the library, these 3 students did not have any chance. They died because of the negligence of the system. The blame game, the usual that you keep hearing, the usual, namesake protests, the ministers coming out, shirking their responsibility, blaming somebody else, that has started. Listen into that first.
तीन ऐसे युवा जो देश का भविष्य थे, तीन ऐसे युवा जो अपने अपने परिवार के चिराग थे, लेकिन दिल्ली की निकम्मी सरकार के भ्रष्टाचार का शिकार हो गए। मैं स्वयं वहां लगभग 3 घंटे रहा हूं। वो दृश्य आप देख नहीं सकते थे।
कौन है जिस तरह से निर्देश दे दिए कि उसकी जांच।
The big question, ladies and gentlemen, is where and how will the responsibility be fixed? Where will this stop? Who are the people responsible for this? Let's very quickly begin this discussion and introduce my guest at this moment. Pragesh Prasoon is joining us at this moment. He is, in fact, a director of Pragesh IAS. We are being joined by Jagdish, who is also with us. He is an urban affairs expert. Ritik is a UPSC aspirant who is joining us, and so is Kshitij. It would have been better to ask these questions to the authorities, but the fact is that I decided not to call the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party because we know what the response would have been. Our hands are tied, is what the Aam Aadmi Party would have said. And the BJP would have then said that, look, they don't know how to govern. It's a usual cycle. I want to start with the two young aspirants at this moment and understand from them. Does this, one by one, if I can ask you, Ritik, does this deter you completely? Does it shake your belief in the system when your parents send you away from their, your house with the belief that you will be in the safe environment, you will be able to get the best education? Has this shaken their belief and yours?
Yes, sir, absolutely. If I, today morning when I woke up, I just got this news. And, this was too devastating and scary for me as well as my family. I am getting calls, like 12, 13 calls since morning today. My parents mujhe bula rahe hain, that they're very scared of the things that has happened, because 3-4 days ago, there was one more incident which, shocked the family and everybody. There is a fear that has been installed in the minds of the, UPSC aspirants, particularly everybody. We are refraining going to the coaching. We are refraining, moving outside of our arena and the residence. And, our parents are mostly worried of, because we living so far from our, home, our comfort zone, and these kind of news disturb us, not just mentally, but yes, it puts a fear that would last for long, and it would not have been easy for any one of us, to digest the fact that that has happened. And coaching institutes are like, this was very unfortunate that happened last night. So yes, to be honest, yeah, it has,
No, but
just
was it
shook
just
us and
unfortunate, or this was absolutely avoidable? I mean, these are the aspirants of tomorrow, those who are going to, in fact, run the MCDs, the municipal bodies, and the kind of conditions that these people are living in at this moment. It's shameful, isn't it? Mr. Pragesh, if I can bring you in at this moment, sir. Is this the responsibility of a coaching institute? Yes, the government. It's anger, because so many people have been calling into our channels. And one after another, they keep saying that there is just greed of these coaching centers. There are no permissions, फिर भी चल रहा है. Newspaper में every day there will be big banners and advertisements given of how many ranks you have scored, but nobody talks about the welfare of these students. of how, in what conditions are these students living in?
So definitely I agree. First of all, this is the mistake of the coaching institutes. And these coaching institutes are mushroomed in the area, as you told earlier, in the ORN. And first thing is that, in fact, I was also a aspirant and I stayed there for 4 or 5 years in the same area. And you will see these coaching institutes are crowded in very small places. In fact, this tragic incident which happened in Rao's IS, which was not earlier there in ORN, it came just few years back. So first, my first question is that why such a one particular area has to be overcrowded? Second point is that once you are this area is overcrowded, so they don't left with the spaces where they can accommodate the students. So they start illegally running these libraries in the basement. In fact, if you see in the ORN, there are hundreds of libraries running in the basement areas. So many aspirants will agree with me because I was also there. So first of all, this is the failure of the collective failure of the entire coaching industry. This has become a selling factory. They're in cashing upon the dreams of the students. So this has to be a stop. There should not be any blame game. This is a first and primarily responsibility of coaching institute. So they should not play with the life of the students.
All good to right now say after this tragedy has happened that, a lot of things should have illegally it was running. Sir, where does the buck stop, sir? I mean, shouldn't the local authorities, the government, the municipal bodies, shouldn't they be also responsible to check if somebody in greed, it's like factories coming one after another. What is the responsibility of the civic authorities, sir?
Yes. Secondly,
Sir,
this cannot happen only because...
That's to Mr. Mamgen. Hold on, sir. I'll just come back to you. Pragesh, I'll come back to you. Mr. Mamgen?
Actually, we have to talk on two phases. One is the case of Rajinder Nagar particular. In this case, definitely basement was misused and they had put a biometric there. So the incident happened and 3 children died. But from last year, we have seen many cases in the coaching center, whether students dies or students get in the fire. These cases are rapidly going on from last 1 year. There is 2 problems in the whole. Number one, I can blame MCD, I can blame Delhi government, I can blame center government. But in Delhi, the civic system is of different type. Building bylaws are framed by TDA and notified by the government of India. MCD has to follow the building bylaws and has to work accordingly. The coaching institute, they enjoy residential category. So when they are commercialized, they are getting and they are earning lot of money, but unfortunately they comes under residential category. And according to Master Plan 2021, they can, in residential area, there can be a basement, which can be used for parking, which can be used for store. In this category also, they have a basement and it was accordingly, it was to be used for store and they make it library and afterward they put a biometric
Sir, I
system
understand
there.
that, but I just want to understand
there
one
was
thing,
no
because
for the water.
You've been part of the MCD. So if somebody has, let's say, they are misusing the permissions that they have, whose responsibility is to check that? Isn't the MCD responsible to go and see whether these people are not misusing the basement for a library or for parking? Whose responsibility is that?
Arpiti, there are 2 factors. Number one is they can use basement for store and other purpose. Number 2, this primary duty is of JE building at that area. But you can think nobody can go daily or weekly basis for every building. So there may be, but definitely
I'm sorry, sir. Sir, you are part of it. I mean, it's not about daily or weekly. These things, these libraries with biometric systems with thousands of students for years and years studying there, they don't come up in a week or in 6 months. They have been there. if MCD would have checked, if the local JE, as you are saying, if he would have done his job, possibly this library would have been shifted somewhere else and we wouldn't have been talking about this. So that does stop at the people,
right.
those who are supposed to
JE
monitor
building,
it.
you are right. JE building can't regularly monitor. I am not defending anyone, but the primary duty was JE building.
Can I request you to stay on with me? I'm getting the first reaction of the Rouse Studies Circle, the coaching center, where this tragedy did take place. I would not call it tragedy, actually. This is absolute callousness. This is murder by the system, in fact, by these people, those who only wanted to make profit. Now they have come out with a reaction to this, and they have said, deeply saddened by the loss of young individuals, committed to provide support to affected families, and committed to cooperate in ongoing probe. I mean, it is mind-boggling that they think that some sort of a PR puff piece and these words that they have put out more than 24 hours after they were responsible for the safety of the students, those who were paying. Their parents were expecting them to provide them that kind of safety. And now they are saying we are committed to provide support to the affected families. In 24 hours, nobody from this coaching institute had the time to even call up the families. And now they come up with this PR puff piece saying that, oh, we are committed and we will cooperate with the ongoing probe. When you have already know that you've broken the laws by making that library there, now you are coming up with all these sentences just because you know that you don't want another crop of young aspirants to be dissuaded to come and join you and give you big bucks. That is exactly what is happening
now
here.
also.
Hold on, sir. I'm just coming to you. Kshitij, you are also an UPSC aspirant. You're hearing so many things. People must be telling you every day in, day out. We've seen 3 days back, a young 26-year-old boy died because he touched a gate which was not supposed to have current. It did, and he died. He was also preparing for the civil services. Do you think this response of the coaching institute at this moment is enough? It's sufficient?
Sir, it's not a individual incident which happened. Even last year, we saw in Mukherjee Nagar where the fire broke out in a coaching center, and it was also a very tragic incident which happened. And at that time, also all the authorities, just started blame gaming and everything. But so we have to question this: that how long the students will have to suffer from all these incidents which can be avoided. Sir. So even if we talk about this incident which happened yesterday, it could have been avoided so easily. Like if MCD has done its work beforehand, before the monsoon, the drainage would have cleaned. Also, after the incident, I heard that the authorities, whether be it fire brigade authorities or the NDRF, they reached very late. So so it should have been taken care, sir, in a better way if the authorities have reacted in a certain manner.
It's a failure at multiple levels of oversight, of greed, of the aspirations all across the country. There are people in this country, those who think if their children crack this examination, that is going to be a golden ticket out of a better life from what they are living at this moment. And you can't blame them for these aspirations. What you should blame is the system that is absolutely, completely collapsed. It doesn't care about anybody. The system keeps churning, and we keep hearing these stories. And then, of course, when the outrage dies down, it's back to usual. I'm hoping this incident would not take it back to usual. Thank you so much to all my guests for joining me, gentlemen, for sharing your views on the broadcast.